Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Night Coffee Talk on the Radical Geek YouTube channel. Goodness, I see the chat is very active, so that's awesome. Let's see who's here. We've got Carrie and Sharon and Sky. Let's see. Oh, and of course, our awesome best companion ever moderator, Attila. Let's see, and Jen. Hey, Jen, good to see you. And our other awesome, amazing moderator, Airfry and Auntie, and Rickwin. So, and Hungry Heath has joined us. Give you $20 or you won't hit the like button. $20. Hey, no buying that stuff, or it's against the terms of service. I learned that. Reading something on there. I don't remember, but I guess you could actually buy those things. Can you believe that? That's crazy talk. Let's see. Oh, hey, and Teresa has joined us. Good evening. So, I don't know. I have like a bunch of like right up front things to kind of go through. So I'm going to start as people join. I'll try to keep up. There's been a lot of chat. Carrie, I'm not missing you on purpose. I just, there's a lot scrolling by. Let's see. But I do see that you splurged on some keto chow and picked some flavors for the pistachio, gingerbread, salted caramel, lemon meringue, and, oh, wow, nice. That is quite the splurge. But you know what? That stuff is really good, and it has great nutrition built into it, so it's nice. Oh, and Paleo Barbie Does Ketos joined us. Good to see you tonight. But work. That's okay. We'll catch you up. So, for those of you who are new to the stream, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you go back and do that and then hit the little bell icon so that you're notified whenever I upload or go live. Bluegrass Girl has joined us. Nice to see you. And Life Adventures and Keto. Hey, good to see you again. Saw you on the Paleo Barbie live stream. And Jackie's here. Hey, Jackie, nice to see you again as well. And Brenda. So, I've got like crazy things going on here. I decided that I did not want to be like using an electric mixer and whipping like crazy for like 90% of the live stream, because I want to share my tea with you. But also, I know that I am not the only person doing a round of BBBE. And I wanted to share with you just like a quick little meal prep. And what I have done ahead of time is that I cooked my ground beef and I mixed it together with some of the pork belly we did today, which, by the way, man, I don't know. I did the same thing I always do, but today the pork belly was amazing. So it's good that it's amazing because we're going to eat it for a while. But I had some ground beef. And I just mixed it together with the pork belly. I put the recipe in the description. But this is going to be more about like just adjusting things a little bit for texture in your little baked eggs. Let's see. Oh, and Casket's here. And Lisa's here. Good to see you again as well. And Sky, no, it's always like that. Hey, this is kind of like a little half-assed channel here, so I don't have a pro setup or anything, so, we run with it. But I'll walk you through and I'll show things as we go. What I have in my big giant bowl, these are the egg yolks, and all I have done is whisk them. I whisked the heck out of them so that they are fluffy, they've doubled in volume, they're a little bit past ribbon stage, and they're very much a thick hollandaise sauce texture. But all it is raw egg yolk. In this container is the egg whites. The egg whites were also beaten very, very stiff. And then I added in the 3 tablespoons of the egg white protein powder. I used Blue Acre brand because I have a discount code for them, and that is in the description as well. Just so you know about that, though, they're awesome. It's a Midwestern farm that manufactures the eggs. and they manufactures the egg white protein powder. So they're in Indiana, and they're real close to Louisville, Kentucky. Got introduced to them by Bluegrass Girl, actually. And they are in progress of revising their website right now, though. So they're doing when you get your credit card into there, it won't process immediately. You have to put your discount code in the comment, and then he is manually taking that off before they run it through. So, but yeah. And Hunger He says, beat them like they owe you $20. Yes. And I tell you, you can't do it by hand. You have to do an electric mixer, or your arm will fall off. It's not that it's impossible, but it's super hard. Oh, hey, Right family. Good to see you join us tonight. And this is like a very simple folding technique, but I don't know that we talk about these kind of things very often. That's my spare spatula. This is good to know about, like if you are building angel food cakes, or or light and fluffy, or chiffon cakes, and sometimes even pound cakes. So I've already got everything really well incorporated with the air. And so I'm going to take actually a big scoop of my egg whites, and you add it in, and you mix it all together to start. And that's so you start lightening up your mixture over here before we fold in over here. And we're going to do this a couple times, or maybe a few times, depending however you feel about it. You can even continue doing it back and forth. But once you get it, and I don't know if I can get a good view of it here, because it does collapse the egg whites, but you can see how it already increased the volume, and now it's a bit lighter. It's not as heavy as it was. The egg whites are still going to collapse. This is not like your PSMF bread where you're looking to keep as much lift as possible. Adding this much fat and the weight and the fat from the meat is going to absolutely collapse everything. But beating them all together will help lighten it up, though, and so that your little egg moons will be a little bit gentler in texture. For the record, I believe this should be way more mixed than these take, so I brought a little buttered casserole dish to throw the leftovers in. I'm going to whisk it off to the side so that someone from the house can come grab it and throw it in the oven. But I'm going to show you air frying. The other thing is that I'm using these silicone molds. These are why I call them the Meaty Moon. They are silicone, and yeah, they're silicone. You just buy them on Amazon. I didn't put them in the description because I think that they were pretty popular, and I've seen them on a lot of stuff, but I can always add it after the fact. Oh, Carrie, no, I have not even started the tea. I'm just making eggs first. We'll get those started, then we'll talk about tea, because the tea is amazing. It's a super awesome Jinjunmei tea. But I just wanted to get this done and into the air fryer. I'm going to do beat in one more scoop before we start folding. And if you haven't done folding before, I might do it backwards. Normally I would add this back into the other bowl, but we'll go ahead and use the clear bowl, and I'll go backwards. It's a little weird to do it that way, but that's all right. Normally what you would do now is you'd start scooping from this bowl into the bigger mixer bowl, and we're just going to take it. Folding is to help retain your poofiness. So you bring it in and you come straight down and you scoop underneath and bring stuff over the top. So instead of coming down like I was, see if I can show you. You go down here and you pull your bottom over the top, and it starts to mix everything in, but it keeps a lot of the texture. It does not 100% mix in, and so you might get some streakiness in your bakes, and that's totally fine. So I'll grab some more. It takes a little more time, but trust me, the difference in the texture is 100% worth it. to follow these kind of folding techniques. And you can just see by the fact that the volume in my clear bowl keeps increasing, not just because I've added more ingredients, but because I'm retaining a lot of the fluffiness to it. Sky says they always try to maintain their poofiness. So, but, and what's going to make this all totally collapse a whole bunch is when I start adding the meat in. Not only is the meat high in fat, but it's pretty heavy. I don't know about you guys, but I don't even drain my ground beef anymore. Unless I'm making a specific dish that it's going to really detract from it. But something like this, it's cold, so it'll dissipate as we bake it. And just to be clear, these are not going to be like rolls. It's eggs. These are baked eggs. So they will not, it's not like PSMF bread or anything like that. These are just straight up, it's eggs, but it's a lighter textured egg. We can get the rest of this cut in, folded in. Cutting is a different technique, which we would do with pastry crust. And while I can sort of show you this, you'll never see the difference in a pastry crust. But you can absolutely see the difference here just by seeing the sheer volume. And what we're going to do now is add the meat, and then you'll see it all collapse. You can see the bowl's almost full now when we started with just a little bit in the bottom. So a lot of the fluffiness has retained. It's foamy. Oh. Who makes that joke? Let me see. And Bluegrass Bill says it must be naked eggs if they were streaking. And Carrie says he's just egging us along. That's a good one. And Carrie says when you fold, you put in air. Correct. So you're retaining the air that you put into the meringue and also continuing to fluff up the egg yolks that you already added in. So. And now we start adding and weighing everything down with our meats. And it does, like I said, it will collapse because the fat from the meat and the heavy weightiness of it. And because I'm not patient enough to do it in little bits, we're just dumping it all in. But that's okay because we want to get this going. And now I'm going to start the air fryer. The air fryer goes to 325. I'm sorry, no, 305 for 20 minutes. I'm going to let that preheat while we mix this in and scoop it. So it will collapse, but you definitely need that meat incorporated so that you get some in all of it, in every piece, and in your casserole. Casserole, yeah. Our moon bites. Sky, I put it in the recipe. I had about a little under 2 cups of meat, and it was mostly ground beef with 3/4 of a cup of smoked pork belly that I made today. So, and you can use whatever meats you want. It does not have to be ground beef, and it does not have to be pork belly. Those are just really delicious to me. So that's why I use them. And as I said, it's definitely collapsing a lot, especially from my folding and stirring. But even at that, we've still got quite a lot of fluffy volume here. It's very much, if you've ever made a chiffon cake, it's very much that similar sort of feel to it. And I've got meat everywhere. And now we're going to spill it as I try to put it in my egg molds. And then we can start talking about the rest. This is always the part that's like the worst. I am horrible at neatly filling things. I know I'm not alone though, because I see other people's pictures on the internet, so. And also, I'm not exactly the most even-handed. But that's all right. You just go back and you add where you need to even them out. The other thing to know is when they cook, they will fluff up a little bit, but then as they cool, they'll sink back down. And Carrie's pointing out that you could use roast beef, which would be amazing. Let me turn this to get the other side. Roast beef. I forget what we did. Oh, we used the shank meat, not roast beef. We used shank meat and in a frittata. And shank meat is very similar to a really high-end roast beef in taste and texture and flavor. And we used the rest of that and then mixed in bacon. And that frittata, I think, was one of the best frittatas I have ever made. It was really good. So I think that even when we reincorporate cheese, I'm going to keep that one in mind. Starting to get down to the lower end of the container bowl. So, but I always do try to do a recipe with you. I know it's harder on these streams, but I don't know. I lost my train of thought there wherever I was going. I overfilled there. Let me just grab a hunk. So, wipe my fingers for a second. And that is it. I know I did butter these, so just in case. And let's see. Go ahead and put my rack in. Try not to burn myself. And off we go. We pour my leftovers into my buttered little mini casserole dish. So that can go. And by now it has about 80% collapse, which is fine. Like I said, it's totally fine. I probably could have gone a size down on this casserole dish. Well, it is what it is. It'll be real thin. Probably only needs now I think it only needs 10 minutes down in the oven. So the reason I put two things in the, let me stack that properly. That's what we call. There we go. All right, the main reason that we put, leave this here, two different measurements, or not measurements, but temperatures and instructions in the description. I put one for air fryer, which as I said is 305 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. And then I put for the oven, just a regular oven, it's 325. You're going to cook it at 325, and that would be for 25 to 30 minutes. These may finish a little faster. It's hard to tell. You have to check. It's not always consistent. But the reason is because the convection cooking in your air fryer cooks, it more evenly distributes the heat, yes, even in the pans, throughout the device, and therefore it cooks a little faster, and you need a slightly lower temperature than you do in a regular oven. So that is the reason why. Let's do some comments, then we'll make some tea. And then I will talk to you about some tea. I'm going to scroll way back up and see what I have missed. Whew. Oh, this guy's saying other times we've been able to see just fine. Yeah, I don't know. My lighting is really weird today. Only one light got moved, but it totally totally changed the whole thing, and I couldn't get it back to even normal. So it's a little darker than usual. I don't know. I could try to make an adjustment, but doing that while we're live is sometimes crazy. And I don't know if that's the smartest idea. It could just go even worse. So we're just going to leave it that way. And so let's see. All right, I'm just gonna have to have missed a whole bunch. Let's see, Carrie, it's right down there, that little teeny casserole, and it just needs like 10 minutes. It's I had less left over than I thought, maybe 15. So Attila has come down to put things in the oven. So you know, leave some nice compliments in the comment there for Attila, are always my rescuer. Here's the jokes. Oh, let's see. Oh, and Carrie says he drinks the fat from the ground beef. So he doesn't drain it either to get the fat. Oh, I don't know that I would like to drink the fat. There, you know, yeah. But I do like it in my meat. It really helps moisturize things and gives it a little bit of a different flavoring. Oh, and Cascade is cooking down a huge pot of thick bacon ends and pieces. I'm going to have some major bacon grease afterwards. Oh, yeah, for sure. But that's awesome. That's some great bacon grease. And you divide that bacon grease into two. One that you strain out and one where you keep the bits in. The one that you keep the bits in, use that for making like dirty eggs and stuff in your cast iron. And then keep the clarified bacon grease for other things like baking little any sort of like little keto rolls or other baking applications or stuff where you would mix things in. Dyson's going crazy upstairs and running around and barking. Air Fried Annie was asking, would it work if you made half? Would you do 4 or 5 eggs? You could absolutely mess with the measurements. Honestly, it's not that critical. So you could do 4 eggs just fine. The main thing is that you do need the egg white protein powder because it sort of helps stabilize everything nicely. Oh, Right Family saying that would be delicious. They have a roast in the freezer. Yeah, I think we have one too, so we'll do that. But we've got our fancy pork belly and eggs for a few days. And then we'll need a different meal. So I do have some meatballs prepared in the freezer. And I don't know, I'll have to think of something fun for a different recipe. Let's see. Oh, and Sharon says today was her cooking day. That they smoked a leg of lamb and smoked bacon wrapped mini meatloaves. And then some pot roast that was browning on the grill with mesquite chips. Oh, that sounds great. Let's see. And we all agree that Sharon's food sounds amazing. Oh, and Carrie says that when his roast is done, he uses his kitchen scissors to cut up the meat. Oh my gosh, everything just jumped again. And Carrie's asking if my tea is a red tea, and the answer is yes, it is. And also, congratulations on your 268 days of no coffee or caffeine. See. Oh, yesterday was a beef haul from Costco for Sharon. Nice. Oh, Dyson is big mad. There's food down here and Mom. Let's see. Let's see. He says he'll be right back. He was gifted a big sous vide bone-in ribeye with a side of pork belly Brussels sprouts. Oh, so Shelly's cooking. So, oh, and Sky says my face and the lighter beans in the background are the same color, depending on where I turn my head. Because sometimes I'll blend into the beans. Yeah, that would make sense because I've got dark hair and similar coloring. So that would make a lot of sense. I don't know. I'll work on it, but it was a shock to me when the light was moved, and it just was like, I don't know what the heck is with it. It's already rough. I need to get some good lighting in here, but it just doesn't happen. Eventually, this is no pro channel. This is the Riff Raff keto channel. Oh, and Rickwin says, sorry for last night. He had to close the app to fix the microphone. I'm sorry, I missed last night too, guys. I just, our neighborhood was having a big giant party, and then I was exhausted and needed to go to bed. I had every intention of coming to the member thing, but like I said, the neighbor, boy, I posted a picture. They had an inflatable screen. It was ginormous. And it was just ridiculous out there. And they were so intoxicated. We did not see any neighbors this morning until about 11 o'clock. I'm going to spread my towel out here so when I am able to take my eggs out, I can set them there without burning my cloth. In the meantime, you know what? You might not be able to see a lot of stuff because it's clear. Ta-da! Well, it's still not great, but this is my teapot. Sometimes it's called a gongfu teapot. Sometimes it's called a gaiwan teapot. But we're not doing a tea ceremony, so I'm never quite certain where that gongfu term is correct or incorrect to use. Oh, thanks, Carrie. Because gongfu tea is technically the more elaborate Chinese tea ceremony, but a lot of the equipment is called gongfu, and a lot of times the preparation is called gongfu tea, and this is called a gongfu tea brewer, which, you know, it is kind of elaborate and fancy. It has a little wooden base. It has a little teapot. This is a modern one because there's also a magnet right here, and I'll show you why in a few minutes. Then the top, where our tea brewer, has its little clear lid, a filter, and then there's a little ball bearing that sits inside over a silicone hole. And so all of that just sits right in the base. And we're going to do our tea brewing up here. So what I have here, this is the Jinjunmei tea. And you definitely won't be able to see this because it's teeny tiny. But I'm dropping it. I have 5 grams of it. Jinjunmei tea is a red tea. Red teas are technically black teas but they're called red teas because the way they're roasted gives them a curly sort of look to them, and their tips are golden. You might find, like in some fancy tea shops, where they carry monkey-picked oolong, and it also is black with little golden tips. Sometimes that falls into the red tea category, but it is a black tea, and they should be telling you it's black tea. Jinjunmei is definitely a red tea. The entire, even though it's from a black tea producing a plant, it definitely has a lighter red cast to it, and it's very curly as it's dried, and then gets into that light sort of a look to it with a little bit of a red cast. I will also tell you, important is the scent you get with the tea. Always make sure that you smell tea. If it smells brash and harsh, it's going to taste brash and harsh. Jinjunmei tea is a really, there's a little teeny bit of an herb smell, but really it's very fruit forwardy and sweet smelling. There's no sweetener in it whatsoever. And when you are going to brew, these are single servings of teas. We are going to use only the 5 grams. So sometimes people think when tea is really expensive and they get a little bag like this and it's loose leaf, they're like, man, hardly got any tea. But 5 grams is a lot of tea. And it really goes, it goes a long way. So there's not a real reason to worry about that. So the other thing is, remember that I've got the ball bearing here and a magnet in my lid. That's because this upper chamber is the brew, and down here is our little serving pitcher. As you, our ball bearing, you pull this forward, it opens the chamber and allows the tea in. All right, so I'm going to heat my water to 195. A lot of teas do not use that high of a temperature for brewing, and we've talked about that before. Jinjunmei tea, uses a higher temperature. You can do 195 all the way up to 205 for brewing. So let's read some comments. Oh, Casket says their tattoo's not even sore today. A few little red spots, but it's good so far. Wait till the itchy space. That's what that always makes me crazy. Harry says it's funny that when he tells people he doesn't drink coffee, and they say, what day am I on? People say they don't know if they can do that. And I get the look that I'm from Mars. Yeah, you know, that's too bad, because like I said, I'm a huge coffee lover, obviously. And tea, and all of these kind of warm beverages or cold beverages, but but if they don't do well for you, it's actually a great accomplishment to get them out of your. That's a huge accomplishment. So you won't get any of that hate here. Maybe friend ribbing, but that's it. Hey Cindy, good to see you tonight. Glad that you finally made it. So let's see. More welcomes for Cindy. Oh, and Tanya has joined us. And Tanya says we can just consider the lightning ambience like a coffee shop. I'm checking my eggs. They look good. I'm going to pull them out. I guess I'd really better get going on the tea then. Oh, they smell great. Let's see. Oh, and I'm not sure what happened. I missed something from last night, and he says that everyone was messaging the warden since they were using his phone to broadcast. So. And Brenda says they've never seen this kind of teapot. This is actually a really simple, basic one. I should tell you that I kind of want another one, because they have some that have like carved dragons and all kinds of cool stuff on it. We'll talk once we get into the and we have everything done. Then I can talk to you about the actual tea and a little bit more about some of the various tea equipments and things. Hey Jen, good to see you. 1 week down on BBBE. Exactly. Yes. Oh, and Carrie says the cup with the magnet will help it flip its lid. Wonder, yes, it will. So, okay, my water's almost at temperature. And Right Family says they're having lemon ginger tea. It's great for allergies. That sounds nice. I love ginger and lemon, but I love when the ginger is like extra punchy as well. I'm sure I missed like a crap ton of comments, but I'm not going to worry about it. So what I am going to say, my water has come to temperature. So this is the first brew with tea, with loose leaf tea, not just Gongfu or Gaiwan tea or any tea. I'm going to tell you, regardless of what you're using, and we don't always follow this practice, because if you're in a shop and they give you one pot and some water, you got to do what you got to do. But if you're at home, you have control. Do a partial pouring of the water for your brew, because it's going to blow your noodle. We're only going to leave it for a few seconds, like 30 seconds, not even a whole minute. You know, just like we've talked about before when we're blooming teas or blooming coffees, with a good tea like this, the first bloom or the first brew is just to moisten the leaves. And we have to wait, you know, we're going to let that go. And we let it dump. That was it. This was not a full brew. This was not a regular brew. This is just the initial steep to bloom the tea leaves and get everything going nice. Oh, wow. And what that does too, especially in a brewer like this, is now all the steam is coming up. And the aroma hits, and that's part of that tea experience, part of the Gongfu. Sharing the scent amongst your friends, and I know that you guys can't smell, there's no smell-o-vision, but if you were having Gongfu tea, what you would do, this is part of the experience, everyone's sharing the aroma together. Or if you're me, you're just greedy and you go in and you do all the smelling. This first brew is no good. You discard it. Vamonos, no good. You don't drink it. I mean, you can drink it if you want, but it does not taste good. Now we let our tea leaves sit there and hydrate. And that's something that we don't always do with our tea, is we don't let that hydration process happen. But while we wait for that to go, and I've got my water holding, we have the perfect opportunity to pull one of these egg whites out. It's still really hot. So you can see they're perfect little round moon shapes. They're very nice and soft. I don't know, you can't really see soft, but they're very soft. You can see I can squish it a little. So it's almost like a souffle, I guess, but teeny, teeny, tiny. And you really can't see the texture or anything like that because I am way far from the camera. But I can tell you, it tastes really good. It's really nice. So, anyway, so with the gong fu, now that we've let it sit, you want to let it sit for a little bit just so everything has time to hydrate into the leaf and release the flavors, and that also reduces the harshness that come with the first brew of the tea. Now we can go ahead and we can do an actual full brew of the tea. Now, this brings me to the first tea fact that we want to bring. And that is multiple steeps of tea. This is where I think a lot of people get confused with tea. When they say multiple steeps, no time is that meant like you can use your tea this morning and then again this afternoon. There we go. We can set this so it can steep. But it's actually meant to be consecutive steeps. So you have a cup, you have a cup, you have a cup, you have a cup, and you can keep using the same tea leaves. But you can't let the leaves dry out again and then use them tomorrow. They're done. Once they've had a chance to cool and dry out again, you can't reuse them. I mean, you can, I guess, but it's nasty. So don't do that. And Sky said it exactly right. Moisten the leaves, release the oils, steep. If you steep too long, tea goes bitter with most leaves. Exactly. And Carrie says I need to hit gongs. I wish I had gongs, but I do not. Sky says he doesn't know crap about coffee, but he is seriously, because he dislikes it, but he is a tea whore. Awesome. I love all things. Tea, coffee, herbal infusions, the whole 9 yards. So. And I see that Sharon had a victory, so awesome. The Wright family says those of us on BBBE are braver than they are, and that's not true. People have different reasons to try some of these things, and I don't know if I've shared a lot of it. I know I have on some of the live streams and a couple of my daily food vlogs, but for me, we're trying to reduce some rheumatoid arthritis symptoms, as well as troubleshoot that I've been having some inflammation and some swelling, all things that lead to that I might be hitting an intolerance of something. So I'm doing the full-on elimination, and we'll be slowly reintegrating things. All right, my tea is gloriously dark and golden. So I'm releasing that so I can have my tea. I have my usual tiny double-walled cup. You serve teas in small cups. This would be a tea to share, but obviously it's just me. And Uh, we let that go. And because normally with Gong Fu tea also you'd be sharing, so you'd enjoy the aroma together, you'd serve your friend, and then you'd serve yourself. I'm just serving myself. And as per usual, let it sit for a minute because it's too hot. But that's what gives you time to revel in the fragrance. Let's see. Oh, and Jen's saying that the egg moons look good. They might have to try some with bacon bits and smoked salt. That sounds good. Oh, let's see. And Jen is asking about bag tea. Should you dunk the tea bag, then discard the water and reseep? So, with bag tea, that is some that I don't know. It's hard to say what to do with bag tea. It's really low quality, and it's a lot of the tea leaf discards. What they used on the high-end teas for your loose leaf packs. Then they take the low grade and they put it in the bag tea. Honestly, the brew method is less important as or rather like things like discarding and stuff that you do with good tea to enhance the flavors. Bag tea is already rough and it's already had enough processing and work efforts to it. Really what you need to do is just make sure you use a temperature high enough to brew the tea, but not so high that it's really over warm. Like you would never use boiling water for a tea bag tea. And by that I mean like your Liptons and stuff like that. Your celestial seasonings, herbal infusions. You want to just lower your temperature down and be like in the 180 degrees Fahrenheit sort of region. And make certain that you only steep it for like 3 to 4 minutes because it's going to be really fast. And then you need to remove those tea bags and just put them in your compost. Oh, that's delightful. Let's see. Oh, and Carrie says he's modified his BBBE with high-fat cheese and liver and seafood, and that has helped him a lot. That's good. And he says that he's tasted some Havarti cheese. It tastes like a healthy Velveeta. Yes, Havarti is definitely is very creamy. So. And Sky says that he thinks that there's many reasons BBBE works for some people, but it has little to do with bravery. He eats this way for brain health. Has a post-concussion disorder, brain bleeds. Yes, that would definitely be a reason. No, it just goes upstairs. I'm being asked if I want my casserole down here. I think I'm good with these moons, but we can just let it rest upstairs. Okay. You can speak. It's all right. They know that you're here. Well, they do now, right? All right. Anyways. Bring a glass and I'll give you some tea. I'm talking to Attila, in case you guys are wondering. Our moderator has come to be helpful. Let's see. And Carrie says the PhD on BBBE has helped with his mental health as well. Sharon says that the BBE has been great this past week. She didn't realize how much she was emotionally eating after her mom's illness. Energy and being able to focus now is great. Oh. So yeah, I can see that. It's definitely different. And I've been told by many people, hey, what are you doing? You're looking better these days. So I did feel like I had it's not a teacup, but okay. Thank you. So now I have shared my Gong Fu tea with a friend, and we can do a second steep. That's not holding. And as you continue with your brews, each time the brew is a little bit different in flavor because your leaves are opening and growing and changing. As they rehydrate, the tea evolves and matures. So, let's see. And Casket's asking about how my squats are. For those of you who don't know, I've been doing like 100 squats a day. Honestly, I think that because they're smaller squats and not like the sitting forever in the deep squat, it was actually pretty easy to get to 100. Like it was sadly like not as much effort as it probably should have been. So I added in kettlebell swings, and then I added in 15 minutes of the deep squat, and went to the intermediate planks so that I was getting a full workout. But yeah, the squats are basically evidently, I thought that would be a whole lot more of a challenge, and they're not because of my cycling legs. And I think also because it followed up the month of those intense deep squats. Crazy times. So I think the next step is that I probably need to increase the weight or something. So, and Casket, oh, you're getting yours done even on the days you don't want it. Yes, I know. I did find that because I added a whole bunch of other exercise, I'm not doing them every single day. I'm doing them like 2 days and then 1 day recovery. But I added a crap ton of exercise. So there's that part. So, okay, anyways, Jinjunmei tea. I've said like a bunch of times it's my favorite. It's a red tea, but that's also red teas or black teas. Brenda says they're moving into Mediterranean keto. So lots of avocado and olive oil and less beef and bacon. That's pretty interesting. I could see how that would work nicely though too because of the high quality fats. Very nice. Let's see. That's right. And that's a good point. There's no pressure to do any particular plan. You need to do really what works for you the best. There are different types of keto because every person needs to tailor it for themselves. Oh, Right Family's asking if we've ever used the hand and ankle weights during your workouts. You know, not really. I tend to stick to, I have kettlebells and barbells and resistance bands, and I just haven't really felt the need to do that during like walking. I've thought about it occasionally, but then I never do. And I haven't really studied the use of them. I think they could have value for some people, but they just haven't been my cake. So also, honestly, it's probably good for drinking. And I need to release my tea. I left it too long. All right, so anyways, before I get back to it, then Casket adds that I've always stood by to do the plan that you'll stick to or that makes you happy. And that's the number one thing. It's an experiment. You are your own personal test lab. So that's basically what I was saying. The deal there. We'll do more steeps, more drinking of the tea. So I said that the Jinjunmei was my favorite, and I'll explain. It's a lapsang Saochong tea. Most of the time that comes from the Wuyi Mountains in China. The particular blend that I have right now is from the Zhejiang province. So, but it's harder to get because it's really expensive. It's super popular in China, and so the tea aficionados really bid up the price for it because they really want to keep hold of it. So when you can get it in an affordable way, I always snap it up because it is utterly delightful. It's really popular because it is actually really delicious. Oh, the other thing that kind of really jacks the price up for it is that it's a really very craftsmanship sort of tea. Um, it's everything is done by hand, which is a lot of teas, but this is special. They had to do a lot of research to the methodology to produce it and give it the nice fruit forward. I'm gonna say almost a little bit of chocolatey back end, and the way it mellows out at the end is not something that really happens as well with a lot of black teas. Black teas can be a little bit harder. Rarely are they robust and gentle at the same time, and yet somehow the Jinjunmei tea does that. Uh, hmm. Air Fry Nanny says nothing in her world includes sardines. That's man, I love sardines. Uh, Carrie says well, he'll get some KetOH-IO soon, and they are non-caffeine versions, so he'll make some ice cream with it to try. Since he hasn't had ice cream in over 4 years, it will be healthy. Nice, yeah, that's a long time to not have any ice cream. So, but you know, you gotta take care of your own body. I know you had a lot of problems and health issues. Hey, Hoofing It. Oh, so last you looked, it was 5 p.m. and then got sucked into your book. Yep, that's okay. That's what replay is for. So, mm. Let's see. But yeah, so the other thing, let's see. I kind of told you about. Okay, so I'm just trying to keep myself. I've been a little scatterbrained today, and I don't know why, but it is what it is. So, the Jinjunmei tea, I told you that it was very fruit forward. There has a little bit of a chocolatey sort of almost flavor at the back. Oh, and Air Fry Nanny says that I missed them saying they've been trying new things and adding a little more spice. Ooh, nice. Let's see. And Jennifer says she doesn't know anything about tea, but she likes Bigelow Constant Comment. Nothing fancy. So the Constant Comet's kind of cool though because it has like that little bit of orange to it. So that's it's yeah. We'll teach you the teas. So I mean, I would say it's generally more for hearty, fast drinking, but I can't do it. I just can't. So let's see. And Jackie said, sorry, she's quiet, making keto chows. You know what? Don't worry. You can be quiet all you want. We are nearing the end. And Brenda agrees that the flavor for the Constant Comment is comforting. Again, I'm a straight up tea drinker, so my teas do tend to be a little bit on the bougie side, and this is no exception. Also, this exact teapot that I have, you can get from Jesse's Tea House. I discovered him just recently, and he has like a lot of stuff I'm used to that I hadn't really been able to get in the past. It was one of my lights again. Guess I need to get a different one for that corner. And my light's already crazy, so now it's gonna just up the ante a bit. But this guy is so cool. He was a comedian living in China and was introduced to the tea culture there, fell in love with it, came back to the United States, continues his comedy, but starts a tea business importing like a bunch of my favorite stuff. The guy is awesomely crazy pants. I've enjoyed some of the stuff, some of his comedy that has been shared and interpreted for me. So it was pretty funny. And again, the teas he's getting are all imported from China. I also have a thing for a lot of Indian teas, so it's very specifically China. But he had like some of the equipment, and he has this exact teapot, so blown away. He does have a coupon for 10% off where I'm working on affiliation. It'll be fun. We'll see. But I'll do one more steep. Oh, it's clogged and now it's just going right through. Well, hot. All right, so anyways, we're just gonna let that go. I'm gonna have to fiddle with my ball here. There we go. Anyways, so what was I doing? Oh yeah, so anyways, he's got a lot of cool stuff. He's got a subscription too. And then Jen is asking if is there a tea you're supposed to slurp to enjoy, or am I making a memory up? No, absolutely, slurping is awesome. You do slurp with both coffees and teas, because what that does is it distributes through your mouth and aerates the tea and infuses not only the flavors, not only does it intensify and spread it across the taste buds, but it also distributes the smell more as well. Slurping is always welcome. It's definitely both a coffee and a tea thing. Oh, and Sky said he loves the tea pets. That's the other fun thing, that I used to have some, and I do not know if I took my tea set to an event, my favorite little carry-on tea set, and it disappeared, and it had my tea pets in it. So I'll just tell you about tea pets. Tea pets are a thing that goes with your tea. Sometimes you have a little bamboo tea tray that has slats in it. You also have tea pets. Tea pets are supposed to be good luck, so you need to feed your tea pets. And that first round of the tea that you make, that is supposed to, you feed that to your tea pets, and that hydrates them. Over time, the materials that the tea pet is made out of, so the color, and it grows and changes. It doesn't grow, but it changes in coloration and gets a more vibrant over time. But supposedly, as you feed your tea pets, it's good luck. And so that's just like one of those little fun things. And they're cute little tchotchkes. I have to say, I love them. So I would like to have some more. And I'm thinking about replacing my old tea set that had disappeared. Even though I have like a lot of standard teapots, and like my fancy little gongfu teapot, and you know, you've seen my clear one that I use for my blooming teas. So I don't know if I truly need it. Plus, I was recently got a gift from Attila of the cutest little travel tea set ever. Oh, I should have brought it down here to show you guys. It's adorable. It's about this big, and it has these teeny little teacups. So you just having your tea on the go. It's fantastic. All right, so I'm going to take one more bite of this. I'm not like super hungry. Like I could eat a little something, but I ate a lot of pork belly because it was so good. But these are really good too. And Casket says similar to wine tasting. It's exactly like wine tasting. And Hoofinit says they've heard of slurping, but didn't know why one would do that. They would do it by accident. No, it's an awesome thing. It's just weird that in the United States that slurping is considered rude, because it's actually a really great enhancement to tasting. So you should totally, I encourage you 100% to slurp your coffee, slurp your tea, slurp your soups, anything liquidy that you're ingesting, give it a good old slurp, and that will help with the flavors. So, oh, I feel like I'm forgetting something else. Oh, it's not in the description, but other teas, not restricted to just China, but they do have some Chinese teas, is check out, you can Google tea punk teas, and she's actually local to Ohio, and has some amazing teas. She goes to a lot of nerd conventions, and that's how I met her. A dear friend of mine was volunteering for her, and we've all they're really, really close. And I just, you know what, I just fell in love with their stuff. It was really, really high quality. I was glad to see it. So, hurrah for teas. And I just want to show you. Well, okay, today with my weird little lighting, you can't really see, but you sort of can. You can just see how gloriously deep gold the tea is now. It's just beautiful. Oh, and Casket says their Japanese friend slurps almost everything. I've gotten used to it. That might be where I picked it up, just in Asian countries. I'm sorry, it's a flavor enhancer. It's the proper way to have an awful lot of things. So I definitely just have to say, I'm pro slurping. I absolutely think that it's like the greatest. Here, just for you guys, my friends, so I can share my tea with you. I don't know if you could hear it or not, but my microphone did wiggle like it was picking it up. So if not, well, I gave that a big slurp. If I slurped any harder, I would have choked myself. So oh, he says that you guys don't mind sharing it, staring at the background while I go get it. No, I'm not going to go run off. You know, I'll just share it on my tomorrow when we do my what I ate today, because you will already know what I ate today tomorrow, because I'm obviously having moon eggs and pork belly. And I don't know, although I'm having a craving for egg puddings again because I just love them so much. At any rate, we're here at 7:30. Oh, and Sky's mentioning that slurping introduces air into the equation, which increases the flavor. Wine tasting incorporates this as well. Yep, so there we are. Like I said, pro slurping. It really enhances the taste and flavor of anything liquid that you ingest. And Air Frying Andy says to be careful. We don't want Attila proving his CPR skills. Right? 100%. No worries. No worries. I won't choke myself. And Casket's asking when my daily videos come to an end. I say they come to an end when my food becomes so repetitive that it is boring, and that I have done so many nerdy talks that my subscriber count like starts going down. So that's when they come to an end. Or if like a lot of people would be like, hey, you might be being a little too extra. So those are my signals that I've gone too far. But I do think that for a good while during BBBE, I think it's going to be nice to share the daily meals, because I don't know that, I think a lot of people struggle with that. I do see like in a variety of groups where people say, I'm so tired of hamburgers. I'm so tired of eggs. And so I really hope that that's going to be a thing, you know, that by sharing that we can inspire each other. So, and I'm going to take off for the night, finish off maybe a couple more steeps of this tea, finish off my little moon egg, and pack things up for the evening so that we can get up bright and early for work in the morning. So, all right, so Jen says, have a good evening. They'll look forward to tomorrow's daily video, that they're being helpful. So I'm glad to hear that. And Air Frying Annie says that you guys aren't going to complain, but we'll see. After a time, you might be my friend who has to give me the hard truths, which I always appreciate. And Air Frying Annie says they may try the moon biscuits, hoping that they have a big enough silicone mold. If it's okay if they're more biscuity shaped. You can make these any size you want. Like I said, I poured half of it into a little bit of it into a rectangle casserole. You can put them in muffin tins. You can put it in, cake molds, whatever. All right. And Right Family says we're all extra compared to sad people, sad diet people. I agree. but that's all right. Anyways, I love spending time with you guys, but the time has come. I need to clean up and put stuff away. So I will see you guys soon, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.